Hello, math students. We have just finished Module 1 and Module 2 and had a test on both of those. So right now we are going to take a unit test, and a unit test covers all of the information for Module 1 and 2. So in this video, what we're going to do is start reviewing that Module 1 information since we haven't had it for quite a while here. So what I would like for you guys to do is take out a sheet of paper, and then we're going to have a question. So I would like for you to freeze the video. So right now, freeze this video. What is the decimal value of 16 over 10? And I'd like for you to try this problem on a piece of paper. So stop the video, do the problem. And then when you're done with the problem, then go ahead and play the video, because then I will go through the solutions. So please make sure you have a piece of paper out and you are trying every single problem. This review is for you, and you review best when you actually try something, not just watch. All right, so do this problem. And you should be back for the solution. So we basically have this fraction, 16 over 10. Now, I can write that as a mixed number, 1 and 6 over 10. And so that says 1 and 6 tenths. So that means we have 1.6, 1 and 6 tenths. So that is the decimal value. All right, again, we have a decimal value. What is 0.36 repeating as a fraction? So stop the video, give this a try, and then go on and play it to see if you got it right. So since this is a repeating decimal, that means we're going to have 9s on the bottom. And we have 2 digits repeating here, a 3 and a 6. So that means we have 9 on the bottom, and we can put 3 6 on top. Okay, now it looks to me like both of these are reducible by dividing by 9. So 36 divided by 9 is 4, and 99 divided by 9 is 11. So 0.36 repeating as a fraction is 4/11. All right, give this a try. Read it and give it a try. Find the value of 5 to the third power. All right, 5 to the third power, remember, means 5 times 5 times 5, or if you remember how to use your calculator, you're hitting 5 and then that caret button, 3. So we've got 25 times 5, which is 125. Now, if I had that problem as 5 to the negative third, the only difference is that is because we have this negative exponent here, it would be 1 over 125. All right, a square rug has an area of 225 square feet. What is the length of each side? Okay, so stop the video, give it a try. All right, we have a square, which means each side is the same. So when I take this side times this side, I get the total area, which is 225. So x times x equals 225. So what number, same number times itself, gives you 225, which is like saying x squared equals 225, which means we are taking the square root of each side. So remember, this is 15 and a negative 15, but we're talking about the length of something here. So we're only going to use the principal square root, which is the positive one. So we have 15, and that label should be feet. So remember, we're taking the square root of 225. All right, write a rational number between 2 pi and the square root of 64. Stop it, and then do this. All right, rational number means that we're going to have a fraction or a decimal of some sort. So 2 pi is going to be 2 times 3.14. So we're going to have 6.28. And then the square root of 64 is 8. So let's find a rational number between here. Okay, a rational number between here could be anything like 6.6, 6.8, 7.2, 7 3/4. Just the number 7 itself is a rational number. So we have lots of different numbers here, so we just have to pick one of them between that. Now, if I said an irrational number, so let's just say I change those directions and I change it to irrational number, now we need to pick something between here, so like the square root of 63. So is the square root of 63 smaller than 64? Yep. So the square root of 63 would be an irrational number. The square root of 60, the square root of 59, square root of 58, square root of 54, any of those are going to fit in there. All right, so these are the same kind of directions, but this time they're asking for a whole number. So that 2 pi we just had from the last screen was 6.28, and the square root of 64 was 8. So we need a whole number. Now remember, whole numbers are something like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 is going to be too small. 9 is going to be too big. So what is a whole number between here? And the only answer is a 7. All right, estimate the, and this is supposed to say the square root of 65 to the 10th. So estimate the square root of 65 to the 10th. All right, so I like to find my either square root on either side. So perfect square of 64 is going to be 8. And then the next whole number is 9. 9 squared is 81. But if you look, is 65 super duper close to 64? So I would say 8.1 is going to be what I would estimate that to the 10th, 8.1. Now, if I would have asked you to do something like the square root of 79, the square root of 79 also fits in there, but is it closer to 81? So I would say something more like 8.9 to get that one. All right, what are the roots of 81? So what are the roots? Notice that's plural, which means there's 2. So what are the roots of 81? 9 and -9. 9 is the principal square root, and then we also have -9. Okay, what are the roots of 4 over 25? Okay, so give this a try. All right, so we're going to take the square root of 4 is 2. We're going to take the square root of 25, which is 5. And remember, you have to also take the negative one, so we get a -2 over 5. All right, write 11 over 12 as a decimal. So stop this and give this a try. If you're stuck, here's the hint. Long division. So give this a try and see if you can come up with the right answer here. 12 goes on the outside, 11 goes on the inside. So 12 does not go into 11. So how many times does it go in to 110? So let's see, 12 times 8. 12 times 8 is 96. So what is 110 minus 96? Oops, that can go in there one more time. So I'm off by here, so let me erase this. So I noticed that this remainder right here was going to be 14. 110 minus 96 is 14. That is bigger than 12, which means my 8 that I had here is not big enough, so I need to go to 9. So I'm going to go up to 9. So now what is 12 times 9 is 108. So 108. So 110 minus 108 is 2. Bring down a 0. So 12 goes into 20 just one time. 1 times 12 is 12. 20 minus 12 is 8. So how many times does 12 go into 80? 12 goes into 80. What is that? 6 times? So 12 times 6 is 72. 80 minus 72 is 8, so I'd bring down another 0. But look at, I have an 80 right here and an 80 right here. So is this pattern going to now just keep repeating? So what I'm going to do is put my repeating bar above the 6. So 0.916. The 6 is repeating, so the next digit is going to be a 6 and then a 6 and a 6. The 9 and the 1 do not repeat. All right, classify. So classify is when we're talking about real, rational, and irrational, and then we have integers and whole numbers, and sometimes we talk about natural numbers. This book doesn't always, but then we have natural numbers. So really, for all of these, I can write real. Every single one of these is going to belong to the real number system, so we've got to put that word in there, okay? So now, the next thing you ask is it rational or irrational? It cannot be both. The lights are either on or they're off. And anything that can be written as a decimal or a fraction is rational. Okay, that is not a whole number because it is a decimal. So going on to the next one, 3 pi. Well, pi is one of the very special irrational kind of numbers, so pi is actually irrational. So once it's irrational, that's the only other one it is. So it's real and irrational. All right, the next one is the square root of 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. So that is rational, it is an integer, it is a whole number, and think of a little kid that starts counting. Isn't that also a natural number? Because they'll eventually go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, the last one, the square root of 38. So both the last two are both square roots. One of them's a perfect square, one of them is not. So if it is not a perfect square, it is irrational. All right, and that's it, the end of that review. So right now you are going to have a homework assignment, so go check where your assignments are, and you should have one more assignment left for today. Good luck on your review for Unit 1 test.